Bonjour à tous. Bienvenue à ma chaîne YouTube aujourd'hui. Merci d'être ici et bon visionnage. Today on my workbench I have John's Whitfield brand Pellet Stove Controller. As you can see, this is an older model, all analog. John sent me this one because he was having issues with the auger not driving. He also had a problem with the start switch was broken. The switch was working electrically, but the toggle arm on it was broken off, so he had to use a stick or something to poke the switch to action. So I wound up replacing that for him. I also made corrections to the circuit board which corrected his auger problem. I've tested it now for a couple of days and everything is functioning correctly on it, so I'm ready to return it to John. As you can see, John's controller is currently set up on my test system. My tester is made up of a few items. First of all, as you can see, there's John's controller. It's mounted to a faceplate which also holds an actual auger motor. The shaft from the auger motor comes out the front. There's a coupling on it and an X marks the spot decal, so when the controller is calling for the auger to drive, you'll see this wheel spin here and the X marks the spot decal will spin as well. Additionally, at the back I have 4 light bulbs and they simulate different functions of your stove. The first one simulates the igniter. This controller will not drive the igniter. The second one controls the combustion fan, that's a firebox fan, marked in blue. In yellow over here, I have a light that simulates the auger motor. So whenever the controller is calling for the auger to drive, we'll see that light come on. And finally at the far end in red, we have the convection or room fan. That's also sometimes known as the blower. So I have the controller connected to my system. Let me power that up before I forget. And I'll switch it to on, which it already was by the way. I'll switch it to on and then I'll press the start button to get things going, and that will light a few lights at the back. As you see, 3 lights have come on. We have the combustion fan has come on. We had a quick burst of the auger motor, and finally in red we have the convection or room fan is on. And we see the auger motor cycling here. Whenever the auger motor cycles, we'll hear it in the video, we'll see the X marks the spot spin, and we'll see the light above the auger come on. So let's watch for that here. So we're in position 1 right now, so the auger drive is quite short. So let me go to position number 5. As I do that, we see that the auger cycle time is much higher. It runs on and off much faster. The last thing I'm going to check while we're doing all this is the blower speed adjustment, which is just a control. As I go to the max position, we'll see the intensity of the convection fan room light increase. That means the fan will be blowing faster and faster. I'm turning and we see the intensity go way up to maximum. And I'll go back down, all the way to minimum, all the way to maximum. So that is functioning correctly. Minimum, the fan would be running at the lowest possible speed. Maximum, the fan would be running at the maximum speed. You may notice, those of you who know this controller, that I have a little round push button on here. That's because when the controller was sent to me, I did not have the usual square button sent to me, so I didn't have that to work with. And when I replaced the switch, I wanted to put something there, so I used the standard red push button on it. But otherwise, the controller seems to be running quite nicely. As you can see, the auger is running quite well. Let me go back down to 1, and we'll have a lower duty cycle on it. And we'll see that the longer off time, but still the short on time. There we go. So let me turn this off. As I turn that off, the auger stops driving, but we have the fans that continue since the controller thinks that the stove is hot and it doesn't want to stop the fans until it's cooled properly. So everything is functional. John, I do want to thank you very much for sending me your controller for repairs. I appreciate it. For all you other viewers out there, if you have a pellet stove controller of your own that needs service or you have questions about, whether it's a Whitfield like this one, a Quadrifire, a USSC, or a Breckwell, please feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to discuss that with you. You'll find my contact information in the video description just below this video. In the meantime, I want to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you'll take a few seconds to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate that very much. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.